And just like every smaller rural Midwestern city the size of Kankakee, almost always the drugs and crime go hand in hand. Kankakee is about an hour-and-a-half drive south of Chicago. Kankakee is bordered by two other decently sized cities in Bourbonnais and Bradley. Collectively, the three cities have a population of around 62,000, with Kankakee being the most well-known of the three. Kankakee is also considered to be the principal city of the region. Well, let's get to it, shall we? I do start the video in the far northern side of Bourbonnais. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. You can always keep up with the real time that it takes me to drive in the lower left corner of the screen. If I go too fast for you, or if you think that I'm going too slow, you can always adjust the playback speed by selecting the gear icon if you're watching on PC, or by selecting the three-dotted menu if you're watching on a mobile device. Isn't YouTube great? Really quick, as if you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on my channel. Other places similar to Kankakee can be found in my Illinois playlist and in my USA Small Cities playlist. is home to 19,000 residents and has a median household income of $69,000 per year. Only 9% of the residents live in poverty, and 36% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The median value of owner-occupied housing units is $170,000, making it a good city to settle down in if you're moving to the area. Bourbonnais is also the only one of the 3 cities to experience population growth in the last 10 years, even though it grew very slightly. Bourbonnais shares its public high school with Bradley, which is the next city that we'll go to, and is considered to be the highest-rated high school in the region. Bourbonnais, Bradley, and Kankakee are all located within Kankakee County. The county has a population of 109,000, which is down from a 2010 peak population of 113,000. Illinois has the second highest property taxes in the nation, and that is the biggest reason as to why people believe that Illinois has lost more people than any other state in the last 10 years. It's estimated that Illinois will have around 200,000 less population in the 2020 census than what it has shown in the 2010 year census. Kankakee County, however, has lost only 3% of its peak population, and it really only decreased in the previous 10 years. Other areas of similar size throughout Illinois have been losing population since the 1970s. The fact that Kankakee has only begun to experience population loss suggests that the area isn't doing too bad economically as other areas in Illinois are. Kankakee County is considered to be a part of the Chicago metropolitan area, and maybe being in closer proximity to Chicago has something to do with that. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight. The Kankakee area's top employer is Riverside Healthcare, which employs around 3,000 workers. That's followed up by CSL Behring, Cigna Healthcare, Shapiro Development Center, and Amita Healthcare. This is Olivet Nazarene University. I think it goes without saying that it's affiliated with the Church of the Nazarene, which is a Christian denomination. The university was founded in the much smaller town of Olivet in 1907. The school enrolls around 5,000 students today, and the school competes athletically in the NAIA. The teams are known as the Tigers. On the right is CSL Behring, which employs around 1,600 workers in the area. If you've ever donated to a CSL plasma because you were broke, this is where your plasma goes to. Hey, no judging here. I was strapped with cash all throughout my college years while being surrounded by rich kids from rich families. I made more money during that time by donating plasma than I did by working any of my crappy minimum wage jobs to help me get by. Real story. I am now in Bradley, which is home to 15,300 residents. The median household income here is $61,000 per year, and the poverty rate is 11%. 20% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, which is pretty low as the national average is 35%. The median value of owner-occupied housing units is valued at $136,000. Make sure to drop a like for that amazing insight. And this is Bradley Bourbonnais Community High School. Their athletic teams go by the Boilermakers. Kinda stole that one from Purdue, didn't ya? I do drive back into Bourbonnais, and before heading towards Kankakee, I get a last glimpse of Bourbonnais and Bradley. And now we have officially entered the city limits of Kankakee, Illinois. Kankakee, however, does have a reputation for crime, as the violent crime rate is 880 for every 100,000 residents, which is 2.5 times the national average rate. The property crime rate is 4,500 for every 100,000 residents, which is double the national average rate. While those crime stats could certainly be better, it's not the worst violent crime rate that we've seen in this state. It honestly seems like that's the crime rate for at least every other principal city of a small or medium-sized metro area in Illinois. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to you if you decide to live in certain neighborhoods of this city. It doesn't seem like the future here is bright, however, from an economic standpoint. Sure, CSL is a big employer in the area, but with the Illinois taxes being what they are, nearby Indiana is much more business friendly than Illinois. When employers today look to expand, they now pass on cities like Kankakee and will open up shop in places in Indiana since the taxes are much lower. Until the state can find a way to function by lowering their taxes, I don't see any city the size of Kankakee growing in Illinois, and that's just going to continue a downward spiral of economics. Household incomes are going to continue to be low, and crime stats are going to continue to be high. On the left is Bishop McNamara Catholic High School. Kankakee is home to 26,000 people, which is down from a 1990 peak population of 31,000. The median household income here is $37,000 per year, and a shockingly high 30% of the residents live in poverty. Only 15% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $87,000. Whenever you see a city with a low median household income and high poverty rates, and it's not a college town, high crime rates are expected. It's very rare that you don't see high crime rates with those stats. And just like every smaller rural Midwestern city the size of Kankakee, almost always the drugs and crime go hand in hand. You usually see a higher drug and crime problem in economically depressed cities, and Kankakee is no exception. The reason why the city of Kankakee isn't doing as well as nearby Bourbonnais and Bradley is because Bourbonnais and Bradley offer higher ranked schools, and families that make more money will spend the money to go to the better ranked schools. That can be an opinion-based subject, but the stats on paper show that Bourbonnais and Bradley are better schools, and that's the data that people see when deciding on where to raise a family. As we continue to drive along, you can see that there are more abandoned buildings and vacant lots than you would see anywhere in Bourbonnais and Bradley. I wonder how many people have attempted to ramp off of this railroad embankment Dukes of Hazzard style. Quite a steep embankment. This is downtown Kankakee, and on the left you can see the Kankakee County Courthouse. On the left is the Kankakee City Hall. Even though we are currently heading south, we're crossing the river and we're now in the part of the city that's known as West Kankakee. As I head towards Kankakee Community College, which is where I end the video, in this video you were able to see how this region is racially and economically segregated. It was a trend that was started by previous generations years ago, whereas today, when people decide where they want to live in a region, they will choose a city that has less crime, better public schools, and overall, better city services, and I believe that has very little to do with race. In my next video, I'll be heading towards a rural town that's about a 20-minute drive from here, but is still within Kankakee County, and even further illustrates the racial and economic segregation. Once again, Illinois has lost 200,000 people in the last 10 years, and many of the smaller and medium-sized metro areas that dot the Illinois map have been losing population for decades. Only recently has Kankakee County began to do so, as the county is doing better economically than most of the other areas of its size throughout Illinois. Well, that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, as doing all of those things helps these videos out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video of an area near you. And if you enjoyed this video, you might want to check out some of the playlists that are featured on my channel. Other places similar to Kankakee can be found in my Illinois playlist and in my USA Small Cities playlist. We'll see you next time. Peace!